Hey guys, it's Chris here from Chris's Creative Life, and I design workshops that help you create beautiful projects from start to finish with easy to follow guides. And I am back with week number 2 of my Festive Fridays. So I hope you are excited for today's project. This is a fun one. So if you missed the first one, I created this fun gift card holder, and it featured the to-go cup thin cut from Close to My Heart, and it turned out really cute. It looks like a Santa Claus. There is a downloadable PDF if you'd like it, and so just to let you know, you can get that one. And so today's project turned out super cute. I showed a sneak peek earlier. So it is, for all intents and purposes, like a wine tag, but I wanted to show you how you could use it to give on lots of different gifts, not just a bottle of wine. So we're going to make 2 of them today. There is also a downloadable sheet for this one. So if you comment a tag, I will send you in the right direction to get the PDF for this project. And I do see that there is the pinned comments there, and I'll go and edit it after. For some reason it came in funny. I'm just playing around with a few of the settings so that I set this one up as an event, and so there were a few little different things that happened, and so I will fix that after. Okay, so I'm going to add my desk onto the screen so you can see what we're going to create today. And like I said, I'm going to do 2 different versions, and here we go. Okay, so I started with making a wine tag, but I wanted it to be like big so that I had a lot of real estate to play with. But once I started doing this, then I had like so many ideas. So we're going to make this wine tag. And like I said, I made it bigger because I wanted more real estate to be able to add things on here. So we're going to create this one, and then we're going to create this second one, which is a little bit smaller. And I put it on just like some Christmas hand soap you could give to somebody. So I'm going to say there are so many ways you could use this. So today I'm going to add it onto this soap. So we're going to dress him in the traditional red versus the raspberry on this one. But like I said, I had tons of fun with them. The other thing I was thinking, like too, one of the things you could add this onto would be like if you wanted to give somebody like syrup for their coffee, you know, like flavored syrup. There's so many things that it could fit on. So there are 2 sizes, and on the PDF, which I'll show you in 1 second, there's a design space file, and you'll be able to cut both the different sizes. Okay, I'm going to take these off of my things now, and I'm going to put the bottle of wine somewhere safe because we all do know I have been known to be a little bit klutzy. So I don't need to send a bottle of wine flying. Let's just say that. Okay, and then this one, I'm going to create it differently. I said, so we're going to just leave this on here because I don't think I can do too much damage to a bottle of soap. I really shouldn't say things like that, should I? Okay, so I'm just going to, walk you through what the PDF looks like. So like I said, when you comment tag, I'll send you the link so you can grab this PDF. So this is the second one. At the top, you'll see this QR code, which goes to my YouTube channel. So if you wanted to watch the video again and watch me assemble it, that will take you there. I've added this PDF, this QR code down here, and this one will take you to the design space file. Sometimes people have a hard time, right, because it's kind of hard to copy and paste off of a PDF. So I added this QR code, and it'll take you right to design space, and you can cut your tags. So like I said, there are 2 different sizes. There's the longer one and the shorter one. And then for these little guys, so that if you didn't have the images, it didn't mess things up, I gave you the sizes on here of what I used and the cartridges I used, so you could just add like the Santa and the poinsettia onto the tags if you want. Okay, so I'm going to move last week's project out of the way and we can get started. Okay, so I'm going to make the big one or the long one first here. So I'm going to move a Santa out of the way. So I'll show you the pieces that I grabbed. So I did use this thin cut, and it's the Merry Christmas Layers thin cut. And I'll just let you know, next week's project features this too. So next week we're going to do a scrapbooking layout. So I used that thin cut, and then, like I said, the Design Space file will take you to the wine tag. I have cut this one out just in White Daisy because I thought we've got a lot of other stuff going on there. So it will cut your hole, and then there's like a score line. And like I said, the same fits on both bottles. So you can think of lots of things that you could give. You could give like nice olive oil too, right? Or olive oil and vinegar. Lots of different things that are kind of like those less expensive gifts that you could give to like a teacher or a neighbor, all of those things. Okay, so I've got my Spectrum Noir metallic markers again. We're going to do something with those today. I've got my gold shimmer brush, and then, like I said, my cuts. So for this thin cut, I have cut it out in clover because I thought that was very Christmassy. And then I have my outline in black, and then I have the Mary in black. I'm going to do this one exactly the same as the original. So I did do 3 poinsettias, and I mixed and matched. So clover for the leaves. Then there's candy apple, and then a raspberry to create those. So I've got 2 big ones and 1 small one here. These are my centers. So I'm gonna do something with those in a second. Here's my other flower. We're gonna stamp on our tag, but first thing I want to do is I cut the little branches out just with White Daisy because they're super delicate. And I thought, you know what? I'm just going to do it in White Daisy, and I'm going to make them gold. So I don't know if you could see here, but all the little branches are just gold tucked in. So we are going to color our branches, and then I actually colored the centers. So I just grabbed a piece of colored cardstock because I know sometimes White Daisy can be funny on camera. So I have the 3 centers we're going to color. And then my branches. And each poinsettia, excuse me, holy smokes, has 3 branches. So I have 3 little ones. There's the 3rd little one. And then 3, so I should have a total of 6 larger ones. And like I said, the cartridges are listed on the PDF. But they are from, the poinsettias from Comfort and Joy, and the Santa is from Jingle Joy. Okay, I'm just going to take a sip of my water so I stop choking. Okay, so, and it's super easy. Sorry, I'm just trying to get the right size here. So I think I'm going to use the 3mm gold marker. If you haven't started it, right, it's like those old pens. You just pump them to get them started. And but mine are all flowing. So I'm just going to color the centers. And right on cue, of course, the dog is barking. It's like the afternoon walk time. Oops. So, and these will dry really quickly. You could obviously also do silver if you prefer. I did gold because I also am going to color Santa's buckle when we get to the second card with the gold. So, and it covers the white daisy perfectly. So I thought, like, instead of pulling out like color, like I could have done obviously these little branches with a green, but I thought, oops, that one flipped over on me. I thought it would just add a nice little sparkle with the gold. And let me just pick this up. You can see, I don't know if you could see, but it covers perfectly. So, and they dry so quickly that it takes like very little effort. Okay, so now these bigger ones, I probably don't need the tweezers. Just the small ones, they're kind of hard to hold. So, and you don't even have to go all the way down to the very tip if you don't want to, like at the bottom of the stem, because it's going to get tucked underneath anyway. Okay, and we're going to give our poinsettias a little bit of dimension. And I'm just really going to do that with my bone folder. You could do it with an embossing tool too, like anything to just give it a little bit of dimension. So like I said, next week we're going to move to scrapbooking page. So next Friday, that's what I've decided. So I will set it up the same way so that it will be an event again. And then I think you guys get a notification if you want. So but I think they are just kind of perfect for so many little things. Okay, so we're going to leave these now to dry for like a few seconds while we work on our other parts. So I just took my piercing tool, not my piercing tool, my bone folder, and I'm just going to rub over top, pushing down all the parts of the poinsettia, and it just kind of breaks up the fibers in the cardstock, and it gives them some dimension. And you could do this as much as you want, and you can have them go whichever way you want, but you can see how much more dimension it has versus right away when I took it out, right? So this is clover, and now I'm going to do, next comes a candy apple layer, and then there's a flamingo layer. And don't worry, everybody that's commenting tag, I'll come back and I'll add the link. That comment that went in funny at the beginning that's pinned at the top was supposed to be the direct link, but something happened. So that didn't work, but I will fix it after. So again, I'm just rubbing them And then I'm going to attach the layers together just with a glue dot. Personally, that's the best way I find to put most of my flowers together. If it's really big, then I might add some glue, but these are all, so you can see it just kind of has added a nice little bit of dimension. So this is the smallest one, and I'm going to be careful or more careful with it so that I don't rip it, but I still want the dimension even in the smallest layer that's going to go on top. So now I just want like the normal size glue dots. These are all big. Let's grab a new box because I don't see normal size. Of course, right? Okay, so these are just like the 3/8 inch size, and I'm just going to tap all the layers down onto the glue dot and then add the layers, just twisting them so that they are off balance from the layer below, right? And so I have a clover and then a candy apple, and now the raspberry. I tried to make them look like I tried to pick colors for the poinsettias that you would see in the store. And then at the end, I'm going to add some gold shimmer brush to give them a little bit of sparkle. Ooh, that glue dot was stuck down very well. It did not want to come off the back there. Okay, so you can see like it just adds so much more dimension. So this is one of the big poinsettias, like bigger. So it gets one of the larger gold dots that I've colored. And because it jumped, I'll add my dot, my glue dot, and then my gold dot. Just like that. Okay, so we're going to do that a couple of times. I'll do the other big one really quickly. And then we're going to, once I get this ready, we'll add our stamp on here. And because I thought that they would be great like as hostess gifts, or like I said, just even like a teacher's present. I'm going to use a couple of the stamps from the From Me to You special. So I just grabbed a couple that I thought worked well. So like when I said like you could give like a bottle of syrup for coffee, I thought like the one that says have a cup of would be good for that one. I was actually supposed to go out last weekend and get a bottle of syrup to do one. And of course we got a snowstorm, so that did not happen. So you're just going to have to visualize what the coffee one would look like. So you could do this also with other things. You could, like I said, you can use it like an embossing tool. You can even just use the backside of your piercing tool. I'll show you. So I'm just literally rubbing, and I have something soft underneath, right? So you could use your Versamat or even just like a piece of fun foam. And it's just enough resistance that it starts to break down the fibers. And you could add the poinsettias flowers either way from top to bottom. Oh wait, nope, that's right. I'm like, am I missing a layer? But I'm not. These glue dots, because I just opened them, are very sticky. So I'm just gonna roll that one over to the middle. It'll all work though. There we go. And so I'm just kind of twisting them so you can see all the layers. Again, I'll just add my center. And like I said, I just colored white cardstock with the gold marker. And I know that poinsettia centers aren't really gold, but it looked cute, I thought. Okay, so we've got 2 done, and now just the smallest one, and that should go together really quickly. So same thing, if you, like I said, it doesn't have to be a bone folder, just really anything kind of rounded. And I'm just rocking it back and forth on each of the petals. And obviously, if you wanted to skip the stitch, you totally could. But I thought it turned out so pretty. I loved the whimsy of the, see, and you can just kind of roll it in the middle too, and then everything pops back up, of the raspberry and the candy apple together, instead of just like only traditional colors, which you could totally do too. Okay, so there we go. So maybe we'll just do this little one with liquid glass. So it would also look pretty if you added like a white layer and did even just like gold tips on your poinsettias, or colored just like, or even with just like ink distressing the edges of the petals, and then you could make them any color you wanted. Okay, and so just need my last gold dot here, and now we can get to putting together our tag. Okay, so you can see I wanted to add the thin cut on here that says Merry Christmas, and then I have the stamp, and it says, have yourself a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. If you didn't want it to say and have a Happy New Year, you could always cut that part off or not ink that part up. And so I knew that I wanted to have one of the poinsettias at the bottom and then 2 at the top. So I want to stamp my image first. So I'm just going to give myself just a quick pencil line. And I decided, I think I did it. Yeah. I just gave myself a pencil line like 2 inches above the bottom so that I knew where to stamp. And I know I need to stamp off to this side. So I'm just going to grab my Versamat, and I've got my spongy side up, and then I have my stamp on my block already, and I'm going to use a raspberry ink. Right here. So, and like I said, if you don't really need to use the pencil line, I just wanted to be pretty accurate because I wanted to have enough room to add my poinsettia underneath. And I know that I need to be relatively close to the edge so that I can add my thin cut. Hopefully you're not getting my Santa hat in your way. Okay, so before I erase my line though, I'm going to just give it a few seconds to dry. So when I cut this thin cut out, I do like to use the adhesive sheets on the back. I just found that it makes it super easy to keep all my pieces together, to make sure that when you're cutting your outline, you still have the center pieces. So like your R and your A, you need the center. So before I ran it through my die cutting machine, I just add a strip of the adhesive sheet to the back. And then when I have extras, I just throw the extra that's, if I add adhesive sheet to a bigger piece of cardstock, then I just add the extras into like my scraps with my, like if I had extras of the black, for example. And then if I need to cut something out, I can just grab that I want it on, then I could just see if I have a scrap first. So I don't know if you could see, but this one, for example, where I cut the Mary, I had extras, so I just used it, my little scrap piece, and see how much easier that goes together than trying to get glue on it, worrying about losing my pieces. I love the adhesive sheets. So I have my center of my A and the center of my R. Okay, so that's together. So I'm going to very lightly erase my line, and we're going to put everything together. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to add my Christmas first. So you can see it's got the waxy finish on the back. So the adhesive sheet is stuck to the back. So I'm just trying to, now obviously when it goes through the die cutting machine, it gets pressed in there pretty hard. So sometimes it's hard to find the place to start it, but get rid of the center of my S there. And then I wanted it relatively close to the top, just like that. And then I have my little Mary, and this one is really a lot easier with the adhesive sheet on the back versus trying to get glue on this skinny script. And then I just, oops, overlapped it. And I have the little loops of my R hanging off because it'll just add just a little bit of dimension there. So just like that, and look at that, we're almost finished. So you can glue these down, the poinsettias down, or you can add them with glue dots. I have big glue dots here, so we can do it quickly. So I have my big one at the bottom here. I'm going to use glue to tuck my little branches in. And whoop, jumped. So now you can see I've got all those on there. Now we're just going to tuck our poinsettias in. I'm just actually going to touch up my gold because I touched it with my tweezers, I think. So you could also leave them till the end, but I wanted to make sure that it went all the way to the edge, right? And I'm just going to put my cap on my glass. So no, because I'm going to now use it for my branches. So now I'm just going to add a little bit of adhesive at the tip, like the bottom of the branches, and tuck them in. And this is where you can kind of, if you feel like you have spots that you would like to fill in, this is how you can kind of do that. And then the last thing I'm going to do is just add some gold shimmer brush to my petals. So like I said, there are 3 for each one. You don't have to use all 3, or you can. So then the next one, I'll just quickly put together the Santa Claus one. But I thought they turned out really cute. So this one, I feel like I want to fill that space right there. And then add one at the bottom. You could obviously add more embellishments to this too if you wanted, but I thought I would just keep them kind of simple. I still need my little scrap piece of paper so we can color Santa's buckle. So if you guys want the PDF, just comment tag and I'll come back after and add the link in where you can find it. It's just the simplest way to be able to share a PDF. Okay, so there we go. Now I have all my things on there. It is pretty, isn't it, Wendy? And then, like I said, I don't know, I just thought it needed a little shimmer. So I just have my gold shimmer brush and I'm making sure to shake it up. Gold in particular, I find the glitter from the shimmer brush kind of gets settled. So you always want to make sure to shake it up before you use it. And then I'm just going to add it to the tips of the poinsettias. And then kind of just when it turns, it will just kind of sparkle. You don't have to do all of them, or you could do all of them. It's totally up to you. So I'm just painting it. And I'm just adding it onto the block so that I know where that I have gold. So I'm just adding it. You could paint the whole petal. Thank you. I thought they were pretty. So obviously you could use any of the images. So like I said, I'll show you at the very end too where I was going with the coffee one, but I did not get my bottle of syrup. But so I'm just adding, like I said, just a little bit of color on the tips. Okay, so that one is going on my bottle of wine. Or like I said, this would be a good size for the syrup too. And the nice thing is this gives you a lot of room if you actually want to add your message to the back, right? You could write something, your to from on the back and actually say something that's not just hello, Merry Christmas. So, okay, so now we're going to quickly put together the second one. So this is obviously Santa Claus. So this one I have a green holiday bottle of soap for, but my second bottle is red. So we're going to make Santa this time in the traditional red color. So, and this is what the PDF will look like. Like I said, I gave you the measurements and everything, the supply list, all those fun things. So this is the smaller one because obviously I didn't need the big long tag. It would be too long for this one. So I did use Glacier because I thought it was kind of like a nice little contrast to him. It kind of looked like the sky. You could also, if you wanted, add some, well, why don't we just do that? Let's add some snow to this one. So I'm just going to grab, I didn't do it on this one. I'm going to grab some white gloss spray, and we're just going to make his tag look like it's snowing behind him. So I just have the white gloss spray and nothing like a little fun detour. So you want to make sure to shake it up so that it gets the nice glossiness all mixed up. I'm going to take the lid off. If you prefer to spray it, you can. I'm going to cover the top part because I don't want it on the fold over part of the tag. So I'm just going to use my box to kind of just mask it so I don't get any on that part, which if you got it on there, it probably doesn't really matter. Okay, so I'm just tapping. I took the top off. Okay, so now I can set this aside. I know, on the Bath and Body Works. And it was funny, so I'm going to have to tell you. So we went last weekend, which was like the candle weekend, which was crazy to be in the store. But, and then we had lots of fun picking out the bottles. And of course, we didn't even pick them out based on how they smelled. We picked them out based on the colors. So how they would look with the tags, which I thought was funny. Okay, so I'm just going to let this dry for a few seconds while we do the other things. So the dog decided she's going to lay right behind me. So we need to stamp the image. This one I thought this was super fun. It says, "You're impossible to shop for, but I gave it a try." The sentiments in that special are so cute. So this one, obviously just used black. You guys, something happened to my ink pad here. Okay, well, let's see if I can do this. I might have to grab a different ink pad, but we'll just see. Yes, I'm going to. That's totally strange. I'm going to clean it off and we're going to do something else. And then I'm going to restamp it once it's dry. Because it's like I re-inked it and it's got too much ink on it, but I actually didn't. So let's just clean this up and I'll set it aside for a second. Did you guys see that? Something fell off the shelf. 1 second. It scared the dog. Okay, you know what? I am going to leave it for a second and we're just going to stamp it with a different color. So let's put Santa together. So like I said, I grabbed candy apple this time to match the soap dispenser. So, and then this is a fun little guy, right? All the pieces, they just fit together. So we are gonna glue him together. And I'm going to use my liquid glass because now I have it open here. You could use a normal adhesive too, obviously. So this is a fun one, right? Because it cuts out his silhouette and then you build him up. There we go. You just want to make sure you get everything all lined up. And then, so this is fun, right? Like it looks like he's got no mouth or eyes. And then when you add this layer on, he comes to life. For the skin color, I used the, like for his face here, I used the light side of peach. So I'm going to add his hat on and then I'll put his face right underneath. Like I said, I thought it would be fun to show you the two different like colorations of Santa, the more traditional. Oh, we need to color his buckle. Okay, but where did his buckle go? Oh, there it is. See, it's so tiny. So again, same thing, right? I thought it would be way easier to just color the buckle than trying to cut it out of like gold glitter paper or something. And it dries so quickly. And same thing, if you think you're good with coloring on your object, you could totally do that too. Okay, so now I have his face. So now you can see, right, he's coming alive. So I have now, like I said, I used the light side of peach for his face. And then when you slide this on, now he's looking more real. And I'm going to add his mustache underneath. And then his nose. So his mustache just fits in there. There's his nose. His nose is very tiny. So I'm going to add my glue onto Santa and then drop his nose down on it. And if you wanted, you could make his nose a different color. Okay, so now I'm going to put all his parts on. So it's almost like you're building a paper doll. And then this one, I did use stickles to give him some shine on his fur. So, but I'll do that last so that I don't have to touch it again. Because you want the stickles to kind of have some time to dry. So now here is the top band, and that just creates like his little fur, makes it look, the white now look like his actual fur on his outfit. So this one just goes at the top here, and then we'll just add the buckle. And then I'm just going to grab, I'll just stamp it with red. So I'm just going to add his buckle over his belt. And there, he's all together. So now there's like a traditional one and the kind of fun pink guy. Okay, so let's try that again. There we go. Okay. So if you're going to do that, you just want to make sure that you give your stamp some time to dry in the middle, because I cleaned it off quite a bit. So hopefully we're all good there. And I thought it was kind of fun to have the circle offset and hanging off the top, so it kind of draws attention to the fact that he's like saying something. There we go. That's much better. Okay, and so I just have a black mat. And here is our one with the snow. It's all dry. So I'm going to add the circle to the mat. So now I can kind of decide where I'm going to put Santa. And then I just kind of nestled the sentiment into him. So you want to make sure not to add adhesive right up to the top. And I'm not going to push it down just yet, but I have adhesive where I need it. So, oh, that worked out very well. You could also pop them up on thin 3D foam tape if you wanted. So, and then I would just check to make sure that I don't actually have adhesive hanging off. And then if I did, I could just clean it up with like the rub and remove. Okay, so we're in the home stretch here. I'm just going to add some stickles now to him so that his fur is sparkly and magical, like Santa. So I did use the diamond stickles on Santa. So I'm just going to add it like on his pom-pom. I'll add it across the top of his hat, and then on his cuffs and his belt, and then his little cuffs at the bottom. And then I will set it aside to dry, because it does take longer for the stickles to dry than it does for like the gloss spray. But I think the snow kind of looks really cute behind him. It's just a subtle little thing, but it looks cute. So I'm just adding this to his fur. And then his big belt down here. So I just wanted to kind of show you a couple of different ways to add some glitter to him. They did turn out cute, didn't they, Wendy? As soon as I finished them, I thought, oh, these are fun. And like I said, I wanted it to be more, like to show you that you could use it for more than just a wine tag. Because I know, like, we do give a lot of wine at Christmas, but maybe you just need something smaller than that too. And I have to say, I think on Santa, the stickles actually makes it. It kind of just finishes him off. So I'll take that one off there. So there are the two different versions of Santa Claus. Okay, so I'm just gonna add myself back in. So there you go, guys. That's what I've got for you this week for the second week of Festive Fridays. If you want the PDF, just simply comment tag. I'll come back. I'm going to do that all right now. Like I said, sorry, I'm not really sure why the link at the top went funny, But the design space file has both sizes. So the longer size if you want to have more fun and more room to play, and then the shorter size that you could put on. You could obviously also use this size on a wine bottle. It doesn't matter. I'll show you kind of. See, you could totally still use this on a wine bottle. I just wanted, like I said, I wanted more real estate to be able to play with on this one. So in the design space file, you've got links to both of the sizes. And then on the sheet, it does tell you the size that I cut the images out and all the supplies that I used. So that's what I got for you guys this week. And like I said, get ready because next week we're going to do some scrapbooking. So have a great Friday, guys, and we'll talk to you later. I hope you're enjoying Festive Fridays. Bye, guys.